Hey, what's up everybody? On the Upper West Side, I gotta go to 32nd and Madison for a service call. Customer got a printer out of service. Decided to title this video, "How loud should your exhaust be?" Right now my exhaust is around 110 decibels, and I've seen and heard louder. But as to the question is how loud your exhaust should be, well, it should be deep, not on the high end, high pitch of sound. But I do see other riders, like on sport bikes, where they have like a stand tune exhaust, which is like a straight pipe that kind of tunes the sound. That's wicked loud, and everybody can hear the person. But the problem is, if you do ride, like for example, let's say you got to go out of state. Just for example, you're driving up to Connecticut, Greenwich, Connecticut. You're driving through Main Street with a stand tune exhaust is not going to be okay. It's going to be too loud. I mean, like there were two guys on. One on a 400, one on a 600. This 400 wasn't that bad, but the 600 was insane loud. Like I was riding down 2nd Avenue with them, just trailing behind them, and it was insane. Like I recorded it. I didn't even bother to upload it because it was just too much. But I should have actually, if I thought of it at the time, and I was gonna make a video about how loud your exhaust should be, I should have absolutely uploaded it. I'm sorry I didn't, but. Anyway, guys, this is actually on the low end of what your exhaust should be, because this is a big problem for riders, because you have to balance the exhaust to the sound that's going to drive you fucking crazy. You know, like if your exhaust is 130 decibels, you know, it's going to drive you insane everywhere you go. So you got to have a balance of what the exhaust should be on the sound level. This one is 110. It's a Lex exhaust. It's on the cheaper side of exhaust. I mean, obviously, if I got a Yoshimura or something like that, you know, like $600 exhaust, I'd love it. The sound is great. There is a difference in the sound. But one thing I do like about this Lex is it's deep, which deep sounds travel better into the cars, so that there's like a repercussion, like a sound percussion going in. Sound percussion will go into the cars so that they can hear you. Because you definitely want people to hear you. In New York, you need people to hear you. Unfortunately, I'm saying, like, you almost have to be borderline obnoxious. But the problem is when you travel outside the city, and also for your own annoyance, like. The sound of your own exhaust will drive you crazy. And that's the reality of a really obnoxious exhaust. going to drive you totally insane. Which I didn't actually know about that when I was a new rider. I started to learn about, you have a really wicked exhaust, but it's actually exhausting when you're driving all day with that. Like it'll make you actually tired, because the sound, you know, it's rough on your ears. You know, to say that you're going to be okay with that sound. The case, because the sounds will drive you nuts. So I would say 110 decibels would be the highest you'd want your exhaust to be, but it should be of a deep nature. Like a high pitch one, although if you're gonna go high pitch, you probably want it to be insane loud, you know, because this way everybody will hear it. Like if you have one of those tuned straight pipes that tunes it and makes it more of a high pitch, then I think you would want it to be insane loud. This way everybody hears it. Like I saw two guys yesterday, they were insane loud. This is pretty loud. This is with the silencer tip in, and I'm still contemplating taking it out, because on my KLR my silencer tip is out, and with the silencer tip out, it's pretty loud, you know, like but everybody can hear me. It's even deeper. So from what I've learned, and I would love to hear from other riders what you think about exhaust and what you've discovered and what you've learned. Is that, oh, that was a nice one. The guy's trying to fuck around with it. Yeah, I would say, like, I would love to hear from other riders, though, what you've discovered with your exhaust, and what has transpired for you for sound level. Because for me, 110 dB seems to be the lowest I'd want my exhaust. And it's weird to say that, because you have to, it's really tough though, because it's a battle you do with yourself, you know, with the sound, and then also with the, you can see how, like, I noticed one thing too with those sport bikes with their open straight pipes. I mean, it's insane loud. It sounds like they're on a MotoGP track, you know. And the reality is, people actually move out of the way. Even a big truck, a box truck. Yesterday when I was following these two guys, the box truck moved. Like when the guy was in the lane that he was trying to come in, the truck was in the wrong though. He was trying to come into the lane where the rider was, but the rider was behind. He wasn't actually side by side with the truck yet. He was approaching at a high rate of speed, and he just bombed the shit out of him, and the truck moved. So I was like, whoa, yeah. So in reality, seems like, and this goes against what you've been taught. Like even in motorcycle safety course, they're saying loud pipes do not save lives. They say it enrages people, and they become more aggressive to you. So it's interesting to hear from both sides of the camp on it. But from what I have seen, if your exhaust is insane loud, people move here in New York. Now, whether that's the case in other cities would I've driven in, like, for example, I've been in Florida. People drive with very loud exhausts too. Florida's a loud exhaust place because there's a lot of elderly people driving. It's a lot of new riders, a lot of young riders, old riders. A bad combination. You know, New York City tends to have like skilled riders. So in Florida, everybody's got loud exhausts. Like, this is actually quiet for Florida, which you would think was weird because Florida's a kind of quiet little place, not busy like New York at all. But their exhausts are very loud to alert people. And I noticed it too when I had my stock exhaust. Someone almost rammed me there, like ran into my. They were coming from the leftmost lane all the way to the right lane. It almost took me out because they were trying to make their street. And they were like ready to take me out, and I had to honk my horn to let the guy know, hey, I'm on your side. And then it was a young guy driving, and he actually got frightened and realized, holy shit, like he didn't want to take me out. He was just surprised. So yes, definitely in New York City, you want your exhaust to be actually borderline insane loud, and that's what works. That shit works. Like, there's no doubt about it. It's proven, and I'm looking at both sides of the camp. I've listened to different riders. My neighbor, and he's got a Ninja 400, and he had a Delcovic exhaust, whatever. The only problem with him though was he said that exhaust had more of a higher pitch to it, which wasn't really alerting drivers, but it was annoying the hell out of him. And see, that's one thing you don't want to do. Like, you don't want an exhaust with a higher pitch that people inside their cars won't hear, because then all you're doing is making a lot of noise that nobody can hear. So it doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense either. But definitely this exhaust is the right volume for New York. It's at the minimum though. You can see, like, people have their windows up, heat on, aircon, whatever. It may not hear you. So you want to be at this level or higher to be able to alert drivers of your presence. So I definitely don't agree with the thank you. That was a nice bus driver. My fucking dog was freaking out. Yeah, so I mean, these are all things that I've learned over the years, because I've learned from high pitch exhausts that were annoying the hell out of me, made me tired. You know, this definitely just didn't feel right for me. It's not what you want in an exhaust. You want something that's going to be a loud enough quality that people can hear, but not too loud. Definitely don't want something obnoxious, but you gotta balance it. It's so hard to do that too. It may take some experimentation, but if you spend the money on a Yoshimura, you're gonna like the exhaust. I mean, the sound is nice, and you can fine tune that based on mapping on your bike, and the tips. You know, those are nice, well made. made exhausts, and you don't have to pack them all the time. These Lex exhausts, you gotta pack them every year. That's just the way it goes with these. I mean, I gotta buy the fiberglass packing and pack it. There's nothing I can do about it. I mean, it's just what you deal with a Lex. That parked in the street there, but it's definitely a nice bike though. So yeah, I would this is something I really want input from other riders though, because this is what I've learned. Like an old rider in California taught me, like, hey, you got to be careful with the loudness of your exhaust, because it's going to drive you nuts. And I said, what, really? What are you talking about? Like when I first started riding, didn't know what he meant. I was confused. Because it didn't make sense to me. Like, how would an exhaust drive you crazy? It's behind you, which you would think. But the louder exhaust, there's vibration on the bike. It's got like it reverberates back towards you. It's not what you think.